They say love is a game, but Machiavelli knew it was never just that. Love, desire, attraction, these aren't accidents of the heart. They're battles of power, silent negotiations between dominance and submission, confidence and insecurity. Every word, every glance, every delay in a reply, it all matters. Machiavelli understood something most men will never grasp. People don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with how you make them feel about themselves in your presence. And the man who controls those feelings controls the entire game. You see, attraction isn't about looks, money, or charm. It's about psychology. It's about creating an emotional imbalance, a tension, where she feels drawn to you, yet never fully in control of you. That's where desire is born, in the space between curiosity and uncertainty. Machiavelli would say, "The one who needs less controls more." And that's the truth most men ignore. They give too much, reveal too soon, and surrender the very power that could make them unforgettable. The great seducers of history didn't win hearts by begging. They mastered timing, silence, distance, and control. They made women crave their attention because they made it rare. In this video, we'll uncover 5 hidden Machiavellian rules, psychological strategies that make women chase your presence, respect your silence, and obsess over your energy. These are not tricks. They're timeless principles of influence rooted in human nature itself. So if you've ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly attract women without even trying, while others give everything and get nothing in return, stay until the end, because the 5th rule is the one that flips the entire power dynamic forever. Rule number 1, control the frame. Never compete for validation. Most men lose the game before it even starts because they step into a woman's world and play by her rules. They try to prove their worth, impress her, win her approval. But the moment you do that, you've already lost your power. You've handed her the frame. And in the world of attraction, whoever controls the frame controls the relationship. To control the frame means to define the reality of the interaction. It's the invisible power that decides who leads, who follows, and who adapts. When you enter her world seeking validation, she becomes the prize, and you become the performer. But when you control the frame, you make her adapt to your reality, your pace, your energy, your mystery. That's when she begins to chase, not out of attraction, but out of curiosity and emotional imbalance. They explain too much. They react too quickly. They try to fix every misunderstanding. They text back instantly. Every time you rush to defend yourself or explain your value, you're telling her, "My worth depends on your approval." Machiavelli would call this psychological submission, the slow erosion of dominance through over-explanation. Remember, power is silent. Influence doesn't argue, it lets the world adjust to its gravity. You take it back by slowing down, by becoming emotionally unreactive, by being so centered in your own frame that nothing she says can shake it. You don't explain, you observe. You don't chase, you attract. Because power flows to the one who can stay calm while others seek attention. That calmness, that composure is magnetic. It tells her, "You can't move me." And that's when she starts trying to. Machiavelli wrote that the one who sets the rules of engagement already wins. Control the frame and you control the story. You're no longer reacting, you're directing. When a woman feels your calm dominance, she senses a man she can't easily read, can't easily move, can't easily forget. And that mystery is what keeps her coming back, again and again. Rule number 2, use emotional distance to create obsession. The biggest mistake men make
is believing that emotional closeness equals attraction. They think the more they open up, the more she'll love them. But attraction doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in tension. The moment you become too available, too predictable, too emotionally transparent, the mystery dies. And when the mystery dies, so does desire.
Human psychology is paradoxical. We chase what retreats, and we devalue what is always near. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. He wrote that absence sharpens respect, while presence dulls it. When you step back, you create a void, and that void becomes a mirror. She fills it with thoughts, fantasies, and questions about you. That's not distance, that's design. When you disappear, her mind doesn't rest, it races. The brain hates uncertainty, so it fills in the blanks with imagination. That's how obsession begins. Not from your presence, but from your absence. Every unanswered message, every moment of silence, if done with purpose, becomes a psychological hook. You're not ignoring her, you're training her focus.
Distance doesn't mean coldness, it means control. It means knowing when to pull back, when to let curiosity breathe. You give a taste, then withdraw. You reveal a fragment, then disappear. This is not cruelty, it's psychological rhythm. Every master of influence understands what's rare becomes valuable. Your silence is not absence, it's power in disguise. Machiavelli would whisper, "Make them wonder if you care." That's when they start to care the most. Emotional distance is not about cruelty. It's about creating depth. It transforms you from predictable to powerful, from ordinary to unforgettable. Because in every relationship, the one who can walk away is the one who holds the power. And when she feels that, the calm, centered detachment of a man who doesn't need her approval, she'll chase not just your love, but your mystery. Rule number 3, control attention. Make her feel seen, but not safe. Every woman wants to feel seen, not just looked at, but truly seen. The moment you make her feel invisible, she disconnects. But the moment you make her feel completely understood, she opens her heart. Yet here's the paradox. The more safety you give, the less passion she feels. Because passion doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in uncertainty. You must make her feel valued but never secure. Attention is a weapon. It's the spotlight that decides who matters and who fades. When you give your attention without control, you hand over your power. But when you selectively give it, with silence, pauses, and mystery, she starts to crave it like oxygen. Machiavelli taught that the greatest leaders mastered perception management. They gave people what they needed to feel, not what they wanted to hear. The same law governs attraction. Give too much attention, she gets bored. Give too little, she drifts away. The art lies in the balance. Be present enough to touch her emotions, but distant enough to trigger her imagination. One message less than she expects. One compliment fewer than she wants. That's how you turn curiosity into obsession. Because the human mind values what it can't fully possess. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement. When love and approval come unpredictably, the emotional bond becomes stronger. It's the same principle casinos use to keep people addicted. Uncertainty creates anticipation, and anticipation creates attachment. So when you make her feel deeply seen one moment, then calmly withdraw the next, you're not confusing her, you're activating the chemistry of desire. Machiavelli would say, "The one who controls attention controls emotion." Make her feel seen, but never predictable. Give her warmth, then silence. Let her question your thoughts, your feelings, your limits. Because when she can't define you, she can't forget you. And when her mind keeps returning to you, you no longer need to chase her attention. You own it. Rule number 4. Master the art of silence and unpredictability. Words can build kingdoms, but silence can destroy them. Most people speak to fill the void, to feel control, to seek validation. But Machiavelli knew that silence creates fear, respect, and curiosity all at once. When you speak less, people start thinking more about you. They project meanings, imagine intentions, and create stories in their minds. That's how mystery is born. Not through words, but through the absence of them. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. When you don't react, you become unpredictable. She begins to wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you'll do next. That uncertainty becomes emotional gravity. It pulls her toward you. Every unanswered question becomes a spark of obsession. Machiavelli would call it tactical absence, controlling others by withholding clarity. Predictability kills attraction. When she knows what you'll say, when you'll text, or how you'll react, the game is over. But when your behavior carries a hint of uncertainty, her emotions stay alert. She starts to analyze every word, every silence, every look. That's when her focus shifts from you as a person to you as an enigma. And people don't fall for humans, they fall for mysteries they can't solve. Silence gives weight to your voice. When you finally speak, people listen, not because of volume, but because of rarity. Your words must come like a blade, few, sharp, and precise. Every pause becomes power. Every glance becomes language. You don't speak to convince, you speak to command. That's why Machiavelli said, "The wise man reveals neither his fear nor his intent." Silence and unpredictability are twin shadows of influence. They make others move while you stand still. They make her chase your meaning while you remain composed. When she can't predict your emotions, she'll seek them harder. And when you master both, your silence and your rhythm, you'll no longer need to speak to be understood. Because the most powerful presence is the one that speaks without words. Rule number 5, the power of emotional contrast. Be both warm and dangerous. Every powerful man carries two energies, warmth and danger. Too kind, and you become harmless. Too cold, and you become unreachable. But when you master both, you create a psychological storm inside her mind, a pull and push that she can't escape. She feels safe with you, yet never fully secure. That paradox is what binds her emotions to your presence. The human brain craves emotional variation. It gets addicted to contrast, moments of warmth followed by moments of distance. That's why predictable love dies and uncertain love consumes. Machiavelli would say, "Keep them oscillating between hope and fear, and they will never leave." When she never knows whether you'll embrace her or withdraw, her mind can't find peace and her heart can't let go. You compliment her, then you challenge her. You listen deeply, then you go silent. You show care, but never dependency. It's not manipulation, it's emotional leadership. You guide the rhythm of connection like a conductor leading an orchestra, sometimes intense, sometimes still. She never gets the full map, and that's why she keeps following you. True warmth doesn't mean softness, it means choice. You decide when to give it and when to withdraw it. Your kindness becomes a privilege, not a guarantee. That's what makes it valuable. Because in a world full of men desperate to please, the one who can show affection without losing authority becomes unforgettable. Be gentle, but never tame. Machiavelli understood that people don't stay loyal to perfection, they stay loyal to emotion. The lover, who feels both safety and chaos with you, can't leave because you've become the story in her head, the storm she secretly loves. So be unpredictable yet consistent in energy. Be warm enough to touch her soul, but dangerous enough to awaken her instincts. That balance, the duality of calm and fire, is the final Machiavellian art of attraction.
These are the 5 hidden rules Machiavelli himself would whisper if he lived today. They're not about manipulation, they're about mastery of emotion, perception, and self. When you apply them, you don't chase love, you become the gravity that love revolves around. And that is the ultimate power.